They are super, but they can fly. United, helping superheroes fly.
I love the countertops.
And I like the price. Yeah, we'll take it.
That feeling, only better. The satisfaction of getting more than you expected. Touchscreen audio, just one of over 35 features standard on the Volkswagen Jetta.
Hurry in this President's Day and lease a new 2018 Volkswagen Jetta S for just $139 a month.
We all have those special people in our lives who are always there for us, no matter what. It feels good to have somebody you can trust that's always on your side. That's why when the skies darken, the storms rage, severe weather looms, you can trust that ABC 7 News is on your side to help keep you informed and safe until the storm passes. There's nothing more important to us than your trust. Give us a try. We're ABC 7 News, and we're on your side.
Turn trash into cash. 7 on your side, Monday at 11.
Welcome to World News Tonight. The deadly tornado outbreak. At least 4 dead as a powerful line of storms strikes millions. Homes flattened, cars tossed and mangled, neighborhoods ripped apart. And tonight, the growing flood threat. Some communities now underwater. Breaking with the NRA? Will President Trump go where the NRA will not? On age restrictions for weapons like the AR-15 and banning bump stocks. As Congress comes back, is now the moment for action. The emotional return, parents and students back at Stoneman Douglas High School for the first time. This as pressure on the sheriff mounts. The governor of Florida now ordering an investigation into the police response. Family fights back. A crook with a shotgun robbing a family-run store. The mother and daughter not backing down, grabbing their own guns. Tonight, how they stopped a one-man crime spree. And the major update tonight on that flu-killing drug that works in just 1 day, where patients may soon be getting it.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Tom Yamas, and we begin tonight with a deadly tornado outbreak as powerful storms strike millions. This tornado caught on camera in Alvelton, Kentucky, one of at least 9 confirmed twisters touching down overnight. The massive destruction seen today from the sky. Look at that. Rooftops ripped from homes, an RV knocked over by powerful winds, and trees uprooted. Tonight, the heavy rainfall triggering flood warnings across several states from the Midwest stretching east. So far, at least 4 fatalities reported. ABC's Marcus Moore gets us started from the storm zone in Clarksville, Tennessee.
A tornado outbreak in America's heartland. 9 twisters touching down, some of them in the dead of night.
This barn, the metal from this barn take off, and then the windows busted out.
Watch how quickly a twister can spin into a destructive force. Severe weather now being blamed for at least 4 deaths. Daylight revealing a 750-mile stretch of damage from Kentucky to Dallas. This in Clarksville, Tennessee. Cars destroyed, roofs torn off, debris scattered throughout entire neighborhoods. The EF2 tornado packing winds up to 120 miles per hour, leaving a gaping hole in Stephen Coleman's house.
The roof from this house.
Yes, came across and knocked those walls.
His wife home alone when the twister barreled through.
The house started shaking. She said it was about like 2 or 3 freight trains just coming through.
Parts of Arkansas getting over 12 inches of rain overnight with winds up to 70 miles per hour.
And this is some of the damage these violent winds left here in Kaiser. Look at this. This is actually part of a roof that peeled away when the storm blew through. Now debris is strewn about.
Tammy McKern had only minutes to take shelter.
You could just hear a really loud noise, and it almost sounded as though the roof was coming off of our house.
The Cooper family hid in their bathtub.
Not enough time to be scared, just time enough to run to the bathroom.
The same storm system flooding parts of Indiana, swallowing cars in Missouri, and prompting more than 100 water rescues in Kentucky overnight.
And some rescue operations still underway tonight. Marcus Moore joining us live from Clarksville, Tennessee, which was hit by a tornado. And Marcus, destruction everywhere you look, but amazingly, in that neighborhood, everyone survived?
Yeah, Tom, that's right. And it may be hard for some people to believe when they see the destruction here. Cars destroyed, those roofs ripped away. At least 50 homes are damaged here. But what else is remarkable is the army of volunteers we have seen helping clear the debris in this neighborhood. And that's a gesture not lost on the residents here. Many of them, this is a neighborhood made of mostly veterans or service members stationed at Fort Campbell, not far away, Tom.
Marcus Moore in one of those towns hit so hard, Clarksville, Tennessee. All right, Marcus, thank you. Next tonight, the gun debate raging across the country in the wake of the Florida school massacre. Pressure is mounting for the White House to take action, with President Trump signaling a willingness to break with the NRA on age restrictions and banning bump stocks. So far, the NRA unwilling to budge, and with Congress heading back to Capitol Hill, it's unclear if meaningful reform is even a possibility. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is in Washington.
Tonight, President Trump and the National Rifle Association, the closest of allies, at odds about what to do in the wake of the deadly Florida high school massacre.
It doesn't seem a pistol, but to get a gun like this maniac used in the school, you get that at 18. I mean, that doesn't make sense. And frankly, I explained that to the NRA.
But the NRA is pushing back against any calls to raise the age limit to buy an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, like the one used in Florida and many other deadly mass shootings.
Let me just say the position is you do not want to raise the age.
That's what the NRA came out and said. That's correct.
Another point of contention, banning bump stocks like the one used in the deadly Las Vegas concert rampage that killed 58 people. The president repeating in a phone interview he supports the ban, but tonight, NRA spokeswoman Dana Lash clear on the group's opposition to that proposal.
The NRA doesn't back any ban.
One proposal the president and the NRA have seen eye to eye on, securing schools. The president calling for some teachers to be armed.
And if they had concealed permits, you wouldn't have this problem today.
This teacher who served
Say not. Having something like this in their vicinity is just not a good idea.
The NRA has faced fierce backlash in the wake of the school. Delta and United Airlines joining more than a dozen companies, severing ties with the gun advocacy group.
I wish that as much attention were given to the Broward County Sheriff and their abdication of duty as trying to blame 5 million innocent law-abiding gun owners.
President Trump insisted Congress will respond legislatively to the. They have no immediate plans to vote on any gun legislation. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos for us tonight. Stephanie, thank you. And as the debate continues in Washington, students in Florida are returning to Stoneman Douglas High School on school grounds today. Many still shaken after that massacre nearly 2 weeks ago. The emotional return coming as pressure builds for local law enforcement to explain its actions before and during the massacre. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in Parkland tonight.
There'll be a cast of thousands helping you.
Tonight, a sea of strength and support. Thousands of students and parents made their way back into the halls of Stoneman Douglas High School for an orientation.
My son is stronger than I am.
With classes set to resume, their concern, security.
I'm sending him back on Wednesday with no progression on gun control, no progression on school safety. So he's going into the same situation that he was on the 14th. Nothing is different.
Did you ever believe that you would have to look for emergency exits in your own school?
No, never would I have thought that this would happen here.
Parkland is trying to move forward as the demand for answers intensifies. 74 GOP state lawmakers sent a letter to Florida Governor Rick Scott urging him to suspend Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel, who's a Democrat, accusing him and his department of ignoring repeated warning signs about the suspected shooter Nicholas Cruz. Today, at the governor's request, the state's Department of Law Enforcement launched an investigation into the shooting response.
I could only take responsibility for what I knew about.
Before the rampage, deputies responded to 18 calls related to Cruz.
2 of them, we're not sure if our deputies did everything they could have or should have.
The sheriff is also investigating reports from nearby Coral Springs police officers who responded to the school. The claim, several deputies were waiting instead of rushing in during the shooting. The school's resource officer, Scott Peterson, allegedly seen on video taking cover, has already resigned.
Our investigation to this point shows that during this horrific attack, there was only one law enforcement person, period, and that was our former deputy, Scott Peterson.
And as Kenneth mentioned, Peterson's that school resource officer who has since resigned and retired. Kenneth joins us live now in Parkland. Kenneth, students are expected to be returning to class on Wednesday?
That's right, Tom. Students will have a half day because this week is all about providing emotional support to get them comfortable in the school. But Building 12, where the massacre happened, will never be used again. The superintendent says it will be torn down, and the school will likely build a memorial park for the 17 people killed. Tom?
That building coming down. All right, Kenneth, thank you. Next tonight, that other major headline involving the White House. President Trump now slamming the newly declassified Democratic memo on the Russia probe that rebuts the GOP document released weeks ago. It comes as the Russia investigation enters a critical new week. ABC's David Wright is at the White House.
Tonight, the debate over the newly declassified memo on the Russia probe, written by the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, has descended into schoolyard taunts.
He's a bad guy, but it's certainly the memo was a nothing.
President Trump not just calling Fox News, but misquoting the network, too. On Twitter, the president attributes this quote to Fox News. Congressman Schiff omitted and distorted key facts. But listen closely to what the Fox News reporter actually said.
Congressman Schiff, he argues the Republican memo omitted and distorted key facts.
Trump's tweet omits key words and distorts the meaning. Trump goes on to call Schiff a total phony. Today, Schiff shot back with a taunt of his own. Wait a minute, Mr. President. Am I a phony or sleazy, a monster or little? Surely you know that the key to a good playground nickname is consistency. I thought you were supposed to be good at this. Schiff's memo is a point-by-point rebuttal of a Republican memo released weeks ago. That document, written by Congressman Devin Nunes, accuses the Department of Justice of basing their request for a wiretap on a Trump campaign associate on the unverified dossier compiled by former British spy Christopher Steele and paid for by the Clinton campaign.
To have a secret court that gets abused like this is totally unacceptable.
But the Schiff memo insists DOJ provided additional information obtained through multiple independent sources that corroborated Steele's reporting. Now, look right below that assertion. Whatever that corroborating evidence might have been is now blacked out, redacted for national security.
I'm not surprised the White House doesn't like it and tried to bury it because it reveals evidence that goes to the issue of collusion.
Tonight, the president and the first lady host a ball here at the White House for the nation's governors. They're in town for their annual meeting. Tomorrow, a business session with the governors. Among the topics they're set to discuss, guns. Tom?
David Wright for us at the White House. David, thank you. Next tonight, the armed robbery and dramatic response in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A mother and daughter grabbing their own guns to turn the tables on an alleged serial crook. Tonight, they're speaking out. Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
I'm just glad that we're both here, that we both overcome something that could end it terribly.
Gratitude tonight after this intense showdown with an accused armed robber. The mother and daughter behind the counter at this Tulsa, Oklahoma liquor store confronted by this man carrying a shotgun. Mother Tina Ring says her reaction was instinctual.
The next thing I know that I have my gun and I'm shooting him, and I get up and I shoot him again. And then he kept just coming back at me.
The alleged robber shot in the leg, yet relentless, wrestling the gun away and pistol whipping her. Ring's daughter, Ashley Lee, stepping in, shooting the man at point-blank range.
I knew she was here to protect me, and I was going to be there for her, to protect her as well, as best as I could and as best as I knew how.
They run out and call 911.
She saved my life. You saved my life.
Their actions helping officers track down a suspect police say they'd been searching for weeks, wanted for at least 10 other robberies.
I feel outstanding that he cannot no longer go out and hurt or harm anyone.
And we're told the suspect is still being treated in a hospital. Police say charges have not yet been filed. Tom?
Two very brave women. All right, Marcy, thank you so much. And there's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. A major update tonight on that flu-killing drug that works in just one day, where patients may soon be getting it. Fed up with robocalls, telemarketers, and phone scammers? Coming up, the new app that fights back for you. And the out-of-control car crashing right into a family's nursery.